Seaside Band, thank you so much. Good morning, I'm Reverend Lori Sheets. I am the Youth and Family Ministry here, responsible for that. So glad that you are here. Got a lot to share with you today. My first guest, who's on his way up, this Saturday, August 23rd, Dr. Howard Richmond is going to be with us with a lot of his friends. This is an event that is sponsored by the bookstore with tickets on sale on the web. Say hello to the comic Shrink.
Thank you, Reverend Lori. I'm Howard. I'm a psychiatrist, and I do stand-up comedy. I'm the comic Shrink. So I'll be here Saturday, and to give you an example of how much fun it's going to be, I brought a special friend with me today. That's Deepak Chopra. Hi, this is Deepak Chopra, M.D.T. If Oprah married me, she would be Oprah Chopra. And I would be Deeper Pockets Chopra. I'd like to talk to you about the mind-body connection. Excuse me, miss, do you mind if I connect with your body? No, don't be embarrassed, because we're really not here. We're not in our body. For example, if you take your iPhone, and your iPhone is playing Lady Gaga, and you open up your iPhone, is Lady Gaga there? No, she's not there. You're not here. We're here, there, and everywhere. All you need is love. We all live in the yellow submarine. Kukukuchu.
Thank you so much. I know I'm going to be there on a Saturday night. The Awakened World Film Festival is coming up at the end of October, and this is a festival of very unique films that are those that people of like mind would enjoy, and there are activities there. They've planned it up in Santa Barbara. So it's going to be a very nice venue. Take a look. There's information in the back there. Roz Tolan she's created an educational class called God Boxes. And it's next Sunday at 1:30. And this practice invites us to write down our concerns and then place them in the decorated God box, for example. I'm just not into the announcer at Seaside. You would write that down, put it in a box, and you would feel better because God would be handling it. Everybody, put your hands on your hips like this, hands on the hips. You know what? We're looking for a few good men and women to be ushers. Both first and second services, so please consider it. Now remember that this is the fastest way to get to the money of Seaside. So when you're making your decision, think of that. Today, the travel ministry is having one of their meetings after second service in the Emerson room. Centers... Oh, am I embarrassed? I would like to invite out with reverence our light bearer today, Sandra Jenkins. She is holding the highest consciousness, which will take care of that faux pas that I just made. Centers for Spiritual Living is our parent organization, and they're putting together a cultural assessment so that we can align our values with the organizational values. Many of you have been sent those on the internet. Please fill them out. The last time that you can fill them out is on the 20th. So that's coming up very quickly, and how nice to know that your opinion matters, that what you value. Our deep sound meditation happens on Mondays up until September 1st. Knock, knock. Hot dog, we're going to have a nice picnic today. Everything's all set up for you. We've got the badminton net. We've got all the tables. We'll have food. We have the men's breakfast club who is going to be doing all the cooking. We have games. We have conversations. Please raise your right hand if you thought for one moment that I was going to hula hoop up here. Gotcha. Please stand up and greet your neighbor.
Please remain standing and sing to the congregational song, We Let It Be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. The joy, we let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace, we let the peace wash over us. We let it be. More peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Take it back. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be. Grace, we let the grace wash over us. We let it be. More love. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. One more time. We let the love wash over us. We let it be.
Well, good morning, Seaside. Hey, what a joy it is to be here with you on a fun summer day at Seaside, where we are in the midst of having our annual picnic afterwards. And so anybody who's here for the first time, I don't usually dress like this. I actually have some nicer clothes in my closet. But today is a special day, and partly because you're here. And so I want to welcome everybody to Seaside, a spiritual nexus, inspiring us to live our dreams, to live our divinity. It is an awakening, loving, spiritual community where we come together in love and support and caring. It is a place without judgment, just supporting us wherever we may be on our spiritual path. And it is truly a special day because we are welcoming one of our newest members into our community in a few minutes. So to take us to that deeper level is a wonderful practitioner by the name of Rosedale Jones. Cool.
Can you hear me? Yes. Please join me in the silence. Well, as I am in the midst of this beauty and this ambience of this sanctuary, I'm also connected by this power within me, which goes beyond me and just covets this entire sanctuary, the entire building, the parking lot, and everything, all the way to the picnic at the end of the service. I know that this power within me, just as much as it takes every cell and rejuvenates brand new cells, anything missing or not out of place is always redone. So I am so grateful and happy to be in the midst of another service where I can reach into this ambiance and pull in my love, pull in my prosperity, pull in my abundance, pull in whatever quality of God I choose to look for. And it's activated by the sound of Christian, Dr. Christian. It's activated by the artists up here. It's activated by the reading. And I give great thanks for all of this right here and right now as I sit in this fabulous service. And so it is. Amen.
It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God. It is not I, but the Spirit within, who does these things I see before me. It is not I, but the Spirit within. Oh, glory to God. Oh, glory to God.
So I have a great honor today, and that is to christen my little granddaughter. So I'd like to call the family forward. Everyone, please. Thank you. So you can line up here. This is little Ariel, who's being christened today. She's 7 months old. And this is her big brother, Landon. We got to christen him about 6 years ago or 5 years ago. And this is her grandparents, Lori Bisson and Rick. And parents, Chris Bisson and my daughter, Vanessa. And the other grandpa, Reverend Rick, as you know, and myself. So we're really blessed to have you all here today and to have you witness this beautiful christening. So let's start in the place that's most appropriate to start, and that's in prayer. So I invite you to move within with me. We move within to this gracious place that is God and only God. For God has recreated itself and named it Ariel Elaine Bisson, and placed her here in the presence of all of us to go forth to be the glory and the destiny of God. It's with this that I give great thanks as we honor her here today. And so it is. So christening is a public ceremony. It's a public ceremony where we get to recognize the divine presence within this new being that has come into the world. And it is also an opportunity for us, those that are supporting her, it's a commitment for us to move forward and to shepherd her into her great expression and to support her along the way. So in order to do that, I wanted to give a charge to the family. This is to the parents and the family. So Chris and Vanessa, as the parents of Ariel Elaine Bisson, it is my privilege to give you the charge as parents and also the charge as grandparents. And that is for you to come into the spiritual realization that you are to shepherd Ariel into the discovery of who and what she truly is, so that she may live to her fullest potential. You may have heard the statement that children are not ours, but rather that she is a child of God, that she comes through you, but does not belong to you. In other words, God recreated itself and named her Ariel. So already infused in this beautiful child is a glorious destiny. For divine intelligence, along with Ariel, chose to be here, and she chose you two as her parents and Landon as her brother. So the choice was made, and in that choice, already encoded in her consciousness, is a grand purpose. And there's a conviction and a right and a reason to be here already within this little child. Already within her consciousness are the areas in which she will excel in life. And all of this is within her now. So your jobs as parents is to live your life in such alignment with the principles of God and love within your own hearts that you create an environment of peace and joy and unconditional love for her, where she gets to continue to choose to be herself. You are to be reminded that children never listen to us. They listen and respond to what we are. And so as you are providing an atmosphere of divine love by being the highest and the very best that you two can be, then she gets to constantly go forward and echo that excellence based on your lifestyle and what you have shown her. It's never about manipulating the baby or to try to make her to do or be what you want. It's always about ourselves growing and becoming in consciousness what we would like our babies to become. It starts first with us. It is in your heart and where you are living that has the highest impact on her. So when I say that this baby is from God, I am indicating that the life principle created itself in its own image and spiritual likeness with a divine purpose. And your purpose is to assist and shepherd her into the realization of that purpose. And then your job is to set her free. free to go explore the world and to grow and develop into her greatest expression possible. So that is your charge. So do you accept this charge as parents? And Landon, as big brother, do you accept this charge to support your little sister and take care of her? Nice. And as grandparents, do you accept this charge? Yes. And our Seaside family, as we come together, if Ariel were to ever come to you and needed support, do you accept the charge also to support her in her spiritual unfoldment? Nice. And so we do a christening. First, it starts with a flower. You can see we got a beautiful rainbow flower. The flower represents all that comes from the earth. And like Ariel, it started out as a seed. The seed of a pear becomes a pear tree, and the seed of God becomes God. And we also will use this holy water. The holy water is the inspiration of spirit. This holy water came from the Franciscan monks who had prayed over it for years. I've had it on my prayer altar for about 15 years. So this water is truly blessed. Genesis, God created the heaven and the earth, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So Ariel is this expressiveness, the Spirit of God. She belongs to the universe. She is an outlet which God seeks its own fulfillment. And so now we will christen her. Okay. So, darling, we christen you in the name of the Mother, Father, God, for which you move and have your being. We christen you in the Christ presence, that part of God that is your soul. And we christen you in the name of the Christ Spirit, that medium for which you are going to go forth and to express. And so it is. So let us just turn within as we give thanks for this time of coming together and to blessing this beautiful expression that was created by the image and likeness of God. We take this time to bless these parents as they become strong and the shepherds of this beautiful child. And these grandparents as they stand forth to be there to support and to help, to develop and grow. Knowing that this is truly a blessed day, I give great thanks. And so it is. And so it is our pleasure to welcome to you the newest member of our family. This is Ariel Elaine Bisson. Thank you. And so it's with that and our warm and open hearts that I just invite us to move into this service and to anchor this beautiful feeling, this beautiful realization into this moment right here now. So I invite you to turn within. As I recognize, know, feel, and sense that there is a power and a presence that I call God, and it is good. It has come forth as that beautiful expression that moves through and as each and every one of us. It is that one power and presence that is the vibration of the Most High. It is the energy that animates every cell within our being. It is that essence of peace and love and joy and happiness that is fully present right here, right now. And it cannot and will not be separated from anything. For God is and I am. For God recreated itself and named it you, and placed you here with a divine purpose to express the glory and the divinity and the destiny of your soul. And so it's with that I just give great thanks for this time of coming together, knowing that in this moment, something magnificent, something powerful happens. For we have said yes to Spirit, which means we are wide open vessels and vehicles through which Spirit flows through and delivers its all good. So I give thanks for this truth as I allow it to be. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. How are you? Was it wonderful to watch Ariel get christened this morning? I always love that when we have babies in the house. Awesome. Well, we have a very special guest this morning. He's one of my personal favorites. Charles Holt is a gifted Broadway actor, author, and inspirational speaker. He tours colleges, universities, spiritual centers, and prisons, sharing his work in forgiveness, compassion, healing, and freedom. He has starred in some of the most celebrated and spectacular shows in American theater, such as Jesus Christ Superstar, Smokey Joe's Cafe, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and The Lion King. Charles has recorded 2 CDs. His first CD, I Am, and his most recent recording, Rushing Over Me, has been received with national acclaim. He has also authored a couple of books. His first book, Intuitive Rebel, that sounds really good, was released by AMI Hay House in 2012, and Between Me and Dad, A Journey Through Forgiveness to Freedom was released just in April of 2014. He's also got a curriculum, Between Me and Dad, for teens regarding dealing with tough relationships, and he's working on that right now. Charles is also a member of the Agape International Spiritual Center and resides in Los Angeles. Please see him at the back of the room after the services for his books and CDs, and please give a warm Seaside welcome for Mr. Charles Holt.
Good morning. I see you all casual, so I didn't want to be out of place, so at least I took my jacket off. Ooh, I am. An angel asked me, do you know who you are? The question and the answer is not very far. The song of the sages, the knowledge of the ages is living where you reside. You have the key that unlocks the door to enter in that sacred place you haven't gone before, where deep meets deep, soul to soul. Feel that connection as the truth unfolds. I am. You are the answer, yes, you are the key that unlocks the door to freedom and leads you to me. Look deep inside you, trust the force that guides you, it knows the way. Yeah, there's no separation, we're one and the same, a child of the Creator, known by different names. The Alpha and Omega, the eternal flame that burns deep inside you. Do you know my name? I am. From the mountains to the oceans, I am. From the rocks to the trees, I am. All the stars and constellations, I am. You are, I am. From the mountains to the oceans, I am. From the rocks to the trees, I am. All the stars and constellations, I am. And you are. I'm spiritual and mystical. I am light, I am love. within me. From the very low to the heavens above, I There's no separation, we're one and the same, a child of Creator, known by different names. The Alpha and Omega, the eternal flame, it's burning deep inside you. Do you know my name? I am. From the mountains to the oceans, I am. From the rocks to the trees, I am. All the stars and constellations, I am. You are. I am. The peace that passes all understanding, I am. The joy that's overflowing, I am. The love in abundance, I am. You are. I
And that is Charles Holt. Woo. From Broadway to Seaside. Is that not the appropriate steps we take? Yeah, I love you, brother. Oh, gosh, fabulous, fabulous. It's just so good, man. I just feel it. My whole body's just grooving to them. It's just, oh, wow. Okay, let me get back. Or not. Yeah. I'll just talk from there. I am. That is like, he's not becoming. He is. Yeah. Charles Holt, fabulous. Okay, so here we are. We are wrapping up our series on folklore. And it's been interesting, the feedback that has been coming in. For some, it's been no more than folklore or fairy tale. Nice kid stories. And for others, it has been a portal to the depths of their being that has rocked their soul and allowed them to see aspects of being that otherwise had remained untapped. There was a post on Facebook this week that just said, Christian, thank you so much for last week's message on the red shoes about moving from the urge to obsession to addiction and the archetype who has to take on all the projection from society that has really assisted me with understanding Robin Williams and that whole death and what took place there. Everyone, he wrote, should hear that message that was shared last week. And so there's a great diversity of what's going on, and so I try to share some insights for you to explore a little bit deeper, to take these journeys into your soul with your sacred circles. And so today, our last one is, it doesn't need up there because I know it. And it is Sealskin, Soulskin. And it is about the seal that carries that soul of the human being, of the feminine. If you look into a seal's eyes, you ever looked into a seal's eyes? There is a person in there. It is magical and is wonderful. And this particular story, Clarice Estes Bencola shares in her book, The Women Who Run with Wolves, comes from an Inuit story, and that is the indigenous people that live in the Arctic Circle, the ones they have a common culture. They live in Greenland and Canada and the United States. And the story talks about it being, so windy there that people put their clothes on sideways for the wind. And it is so cold up there that when people speak, you have to break the sentences off their lips and drop it in the fire to melt them so you can hear what has been said. And it is a lonely place. And this particular story of Sealskin, Soulskin, is happened a long time ago, a time that will never come again, and it will. About a lonely man who lived by himself for years and years and hadn't seen anybody other than the memories of his mind, that the tears of his loneliness have created crevices as they have run and frozen down his face. He's happy, he sleeps well, he hunts, and he is content, but his heart aches for a partner. And one day in the summer months, he was out in his kayak or dugout or whatever they hunt in out there in the low waters, out a little bit too long. And the night came and the dusk came, and there was this spotted rock over in the distance, and he could see shimmering off the moonlight these individuals or something moving out there. And so as he paddled closer to the spotted rock, what he saw was a few beautiful women that were dancing in the moonlight, naked as the day they first laid on their mother's stomach. And he was a guy who was all alone. What could he do? Yeah, but stare. And as he watched, the water moved him up to the rock. And what he noticed is that they were women that had taken off their sealskin and left them in a pile, and they had danced. And the music that they sang was magic to the ears. It was beautiful. It was enchanting. It was captivating. As he was captivated and his little dugout came up to the rocks, he jumped out and he grabbed a sealskin and he hid it in his parka. And when the time came and the women were to go back to the water, a beautiful lady shared beautiful sounds, and they all slipped on their sealskins and slipped into the water, except one, the tallest and most beautiful of them all. And he popped out and said, "I want you to be my wife." I don't know about you. That's not the courting practices I learned, but I have stolen from you your true nature, your sealskin, and if you marry me, he said, I'll give it back to you in 7 summers. And you can then do what it is you want. She said, but you don't understand. I am not of your expression, of your nature. I am from beneath. I am from under the water. I come from a different realm. And he said, that is okay. I want you so much. I promise I will give you your sealskin back in 7 years, and you may do what you want. And reluctantly, she said, okay, and they married, and they were soon with child, and Ulrich, their son, was born, and he was raised. Mom would share stories of seals and salmon and walrus and whales, and Dad would share about the buffalo and the bear and the elk and the mouse. And he was a child of both worlds, of one that was beneath and one that was above, and grew up in this family that seemed pretty happy and solid until the 8th winter when Mom was drying up. She had been away from her true nature. She had given up herself and her being and her essence and her truth, and she was drying up. Her skin was getting flaky. She was withering away to nothing. Her eyes were droopy. She could hardly walk. And one night, Ulrich in the bedroom could hear his mom and Dad just arguing. Dad sounded like a bear, and she was crying. And she said, it's been 8 winters. I want my sealskin back. And he said, if I give you your sealskin, you will run. And she says, I don't know what I will do, but I want my nature back. I want who I am back. And with that, he ran out of the igloo. Well, I'll tell you, starting off in life, many of us have danced innocently in the moonlight. We have been naive enough to know the concerns and the worries and the challenges of the world and just foregone some of our connectedness with Source and just followed the whimsical nature of our adolescence and our young adult. We have followed after what appeared to be good and look good. We have given up the art so we could have our things, and we were robbed of our sealskin. We were robbed of our true nature, out of our innocence, out of our naive expression. At a certain point in our life when we were just being that wild and crazy, something was stolen from us, whether it was our innocence, maybe got married too soon, maybe got pregnant too soon, maybe became too idealistic, maybe sold out for a little sense of greater comfort, and all of a sudden you have moved down the road several years and you go to grab your true nature, your sealskin back, and it's not there. It's been taken. And as we've probably figured out, the sealskin isn't really a skin per se. It is our true nature. It's the essence of who we are. And so the sealskin has been taken. The instinctual nature that is able to tell us there's danger, there's warning. All animals have The hair stands up on the back of their head when there's danger, when there's good, when there's nature. There's something for them to know, that instinctual nature. You ever had that? You know what I'm talking about? When you're in touch, you're aware. It's called a phylloerection. It is the hair stands straight up and says there is something going on here. Well, it has been taken from her because she has sold out to, or had it taken, the shamans of the Inuit wore many pelts and furs and many feathers because they believed that it gave them many eyes into the mysteries, into the mystical realm, into that deeper place. And so all of us have experienced some kind of theft and loss in our life, something taken from you. But what it can do is it can drive you deeper to your true nature. What it can do is allow you to see what is most important to your soul and to your spirit. What does is it allows you to develop that searching in your soul that once again is intuitive and is aware. It allows your medial nature, that nature that is between the consensual reality and the mysterious mystical. It allows you to be that intermediary, that place that is in between. And she begins to realize and know that it's time for my true nature back. Who I am, I want that back. I have sold out, whether it was out of innocence, whether it was naive, whether I didn't know better, whatever it is, but there's something my soul is missing. I have put on somebody else's skin. I've stepped into somebody else's life. I am being something that I am truly not. There is something inside that is stirring, and that child, the innocence, wakes up and says, oh no, what's going on? I hear this argument going on, and Dad takes off. There's something within that woman that needs to return back to her true nature, to remember, to reconnect. All animals have a refuge. They all have a home. And if we've taken their habitat and we've taken their home, we build them a refuge. We've got buffalo refuges. We've got wolf refuges. We even have these little birds out in the East County here that have their refuge because we have encroached upon their land. We have built cities. We have built highways. We have built all sorts of congestion and the dissonance and the noise and the confusion, the chaos. They have to have a refuge. They have it. But what about us? Do you have that sacred place that you can go to restore your soul and your spirit? That quiet place that is inside you that you can go and reconnect? We are just so go in our society. We're so caught up in this trance of busyness and work. You're only honored if you can say, I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I've worked 7 days this week. I've worked 10-hour days. People seem to get their honor patches because I have worked so hard. I am so busy. I am so exhausted. Aren't you impressed? You have so lost touch with the sealskin, with the true nature of who you are. You're caught in that trance. And so what do? We go on vacation. The majority of those vacations are go, 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 go. I'm here today, I'm there tomorrow, I'm here today, I'm there tomorrow. I've got to do this, do that, and do that. Here's my itinerary. We do vacation in groups of resorts, all-inclusive resorts. We do groups of thousands of people on cruise ship, which are wonderful. I love them. They're great. And it's not a refuge. It's not the quiet place for your soul to remember and to connect and just remember the essence of its being. Something's got to catch your attention. So Ulrich, the boy, hears his mom and dad arguing, and he cries himself to sleep. And it's in the sleep he hears the wind calling his name. Ulrich, Ulrich, Ulrich. That he puts on his parka, he puts on his mucklucks, and he heads out into the cold, and the wind is blowing, the sky is filled with stars and more stars, and the light is shining, and the wind is calling, Ulrich, and he's following. He doesn't know where, but there's something inside of him that knows. There's something inside of him that he is listening to. That child has not lost the innocence. He goes to like the water's edge, and the moon is shining down upon this old silvery seal, walrus kind of guy, the eyes shining in the moonlight, the whiskers hanging down to its stomach. He is silvery, he is gray, and he is calling Ulrich, and Ulrich climbs down the crevice, kind of not knowing, stumbling, and he trips over this bundle, And he hears, Ulrich. And so he looks down, and this bundle is not a rock. It is a bundle that came out of the cleft in the rocks, and is his mom's sealskin. It's where it had been hidden. And he opens it up, and he smells mom, the scent of mom, the wisdom, the spirit. He wraps around him. He can just feel mom's presence, and he's afraid if he shows mom, she's going to leave. But she knows that he has to be able to deliver. Goes back. And he shares with mom. He said, Mom, please, crying, don't leave me. She takes his head in his palms, and she blows her breath into him once, twice, and 3 times. Grabs him under his arms and hobbles, can barely walk any longer, out to the sea and dives in with him. And dives down to the depths, deeper, 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 until she comes into a cavern where all the seals and the creatures are, and they're singing and they're dancing, they're eating, they're doing their creature seal under the water kind of thing, kind of like Ariel, and her secret grotto at Disneyland. And they're just making noise, and up comes that old seal and says, Grandson, welcome home. And my daughter, you have been missed. How have you been? She says, I've heard a man. Says, a man who loved me very much. A man who gave me everything he could give. But if I were to return, I would be a prisoner. He said, stay a while. And so she stayed. Exactly 7 days. And it's in that time, the moisture returned to her body, the twinkle to her eyes, the color to her skin, the weight and the healthiness once again. And at the end of the 7 days, she said to her son, it is time for you to go back. For it is not time for you to be here in this world. It's time for you to return to land. And with that, the old seal, her dad, and took son Ulrich back to the land. They watched him as he walked away, and they took one last look, and they dove back down to the depths. But it took the son, the spiritual child, to remind mom of the joy and the life and listening to that inner spirit. What happens is that we get so involved in doing life that we don't find the time to return home. We must find time in our life to return home so we can be nourished. We get so busy in the doingness of our life that we don't quite get around to it. And the women of this world are born with the archetypal picture of nurturer, mother, goddess, healer, and they continue to give, and they continue to give, and they continue to give. And one person cannot continue to heal and save everyone in this world. You've got to pick and you choose, and you got to remember to take care of yourself, because if you are depleted, there's nothing left to give. And the common cry from the women is, yes, I will. I just need to take care of this first. You know that one? Yes, it's a lie of the heart that says, yes, I will go, but first I need to complete this. So in the spring I will go, but in the spring you don't go. In the summer, when summer's over, I will go, but you don't go. You know, when my kids go back to school, I will go, and you don't go. In the fall, when the leaves are beautiful, I will go, if you don't go. Well, in the winter, nobody goes because it's too cold. So next spring, this time I really mean it, I will go. And you don't go home to nurture that soul and that spirit. And in the meantime, our world just reaches and grabs and just wants more of you. Clarissa talks about that it's 1,000 hands that are reaching out to the women that want you. It is 1,000,000 voices that are calling and pulling at you and tugging you in all directions, that want and desire and need something and pulling at your soul and your spirit. You're turned in all directions, trying to help here, trying to help there, trying to help out. She says you got to put on that brass bra and just stop that milk train. You've got to be willing to go home. And I got to tell you about timing with going back to that place. And it's not a physical place in time or space. It is something internal. It is a place that It's not physical, but it's a place where you go and you're not interrupted in your thoughts and your fantasies and your vision by, hey, Mom, could you help me with this? Or, honey, would you cook this? Or what about that? It is a place where you are safe to just be who you are and replenish and restore. And the thing with the timing is when it's time, it's time. You know, when it is time to go home to experience the nurturing of the soul that aches, that got lost on that rock in your days of innocence, when you're trying to get that soul skin back, it is a time where you've got to say, I got to go. And it may not be right. I'll tell you, it's seldom ever right. It sure wasn't right for our seal woman to go. She had to leave her kid. The house wasn't clean. The place wasn't in order. It is never going to be perfectly set up with all the meals in the freezer so everybody can eat while you're out. You know, you got to be willing to go. But what about my dog? He needs me at this time. Who's going to walk him? Somebody will walk him and feed him. Anybody feels like I'm abandoning him on the freeway? Well, he'll get over it. You know, he'll take you back. But what about my mate, my partner? It's going to be so grumpy. Oh, it just doesn't get, I need my time and my space. Or my employer, they're going to really be agitated. Well, I'll tell you what, they too will get over it. Or they won't, but it's their stuff. What you need to do is heal your soul, your spirit, your true nature. You need to take care of yourself. And it may look like taking a moment. You've got to continue to take those moments, and one person's moment is not another person's. Maybe yours is an hour before everybody else in the house wakes up. Maybe it's in the evening when your household goes to sleep. When finally he's asleep and he's leaving me alone. Now, maybe it's just reading a special something that soothes your soul. Maybe it's sitting out in the sun and just letting your hair dry, sitting next to the river, walking along the beach all by yourself. And when you're leaving, they say, where are you going? I don't know. Leave me alone. I don't know. I'll be back. When? I don't know. You just need to do it. You don't have to give the reason. Sometimes it's jumping in a car and driving off to who knows where. I'll come back when I'm done. Well, when are you going to be done? I don't know when I'm going to be done. I just need to go home and sit by a river. Sit on my porch with a Chardonnay and a good book, or in a coffee shop and write. And how long does one go? Well, usually not long enough. But you go as long as you can. And sometimes you go as long as you must. And other times you go until you miss what you left. But what is essential is that you go when the time calls you. When you hear on the winds the old soul calling you. Like Uruk, who had this dream. And whether it is a nighttime dream or a lucid dream, it is said when you hear a dismembered voice talking, listen. It could be a pure transmission from your soul, from your higher self. That wind that calls your name to go out into the night where you don't know. But we are continuously told stories from the beginning of time about how the light comes into the darkness. How you find the light in the midst of hell. A cliche in our society is the dark night of the soul where the light returns. From the beginning of time, we have the winter equinox where we celebrate the return of the light. Amaterasu, the sun goddess of Asia, is a light that bursts itself from the bottom of a mountain. We have the Chiapa Mountains, where it says that this yellow sun burns a hole in the blouse of the darkness every day to return. You don't have to know the answer of where you're going, but you have to listen and be willing to go and to trust that you will know, because you are in touch enough that you're able to feel that which wants to speak and to renew and just refurbish your soul. You've got to be willing to say yes to that and realize that people will always be reaching for you. And when you're feeling that archetype, a mom, cultural comedian, rebel like a Janis Joplin, sex symbol like a Marilyn Monroe, that archetype can only take so much before it will collapse. Learn that you need to take your sealskin back. You have got to dive down to the depths and renew, replenish, restore. when you need it. Well, I just don't have the time. I'll tell you what, if your kid called you and they were sick, you would drop what you were doing and go help them, wouldn't you? Got some good parents. Okay. You've got to have the same willingness to take care of your soul and your spirit. You've got to be willing to set time away, regularly schedule it if you have to, so you can go home and connect and feel the nourishment, because that is where the Spirit speaks. Ernest Holmes talks about our personal connection. It is a mystical philosophy. It is being that emanation of spirit, but if you're so caught up in the trance of society, of putting on other people's skins, of meeting the cultural demands and the expectations, all those, you begin to lose the truth of who you are, and the truth of who you are is what you came here to be, and we need that. You need to listen to that old guy who's lifted up from the subjective underworld above into the conscious realm to catch your awareness that is calling you home. You have got to go. And as you dive down, you'll see family. You'll find yourself home. You'll have the remembrances. You'll feel safe. You'll feel protected. You're willing to explore. You're no longer interrupted. There's not judgment there. But like all good initiations of the mystery schools, you got to come back. That is that spirit child that was placed back upon the ground. He ached for mom and what he saw. But yet is to walk in this world. He was the new breed where he had his foot in both worlds, that he came from both worlds. That's the truth of our being. We are that, the medial nature of who you are, that is that conduit from the mystical, the world of form. And as he walked back into life, his mom said, you can always connect with me. Take one of the objects that you knew as mine, the ulu, the knife, the carvings. Just call my name, and my breath will be with you, the one that sustains you in this underworld. And so it is said that he became a famous drummer and carver, and they would see him continuously, ulu, going out in his kayak out to the spotted rock. And the stories are that they would see him mysteriously talking to this woman seal. No one ever quite knew what was said. No one ever knew if it was quite so. And the hunters tried to capture this woman seal, but they never could. She continued to elude them. Just like that spiritual side, where that ego mind tries to capture and put it in its own skin. It never can. The motif of the psyche is the continual battle between that ego and the soul. In the earlier days, the ego has the muscle and the strength and has us innocently dancing. But as one spiritually matures, begins to fall back and become the one that takes the direction from the higher self to assist you to function within this world. It will follow the dictates because it cannot go underneath. It cannot go into the subjective. Its leash is too short. It is not of that spiritual and subjective world, and so it will refute all the numerosity that is said. Got to prove this, but this is so. But, all those things just don't matter when you have just a sense of the truth of who you are. You are no longer tempted to give up your sealskin because you are comfortable in your skin walking in this world because you are that connection between heaven and earth. God bless you as you do it. Hey, let's keep it good as we bring Charles Holt back to the stage.
everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. That's the way of time. No one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, the sunlights of the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart does heal, but never more too soon, because everything must change. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. That's the way of time, because everything must change. There are not many things in life that you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, the sunlights of the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Yes. Oh, there are not many things in life that you can be sure of, except from the clouds. The sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do, they do fly. Rain comes from the clouds. The sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly, because everything must change.
Man. This is Charles Hope. Giving us a sweet treat by all means. Thank you, Charles. That is just soul stirring. Awesome. Yes, those are the adjectives we're looking for here. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to unite together in our givingness and the sharing of our offering, of the giving of our gift. And I know absolutely it does come from our heart. It does come from that soul place. And as you give, it comes back to you. It's not why you give. It's just this is how the universe works. You get to be the activity of spirit. You get to be the declaration of how this infinite is going to operate within your life. And so as you give without the strings attached, what you will find is the givingness of life pouring forth its blessings without the strings attached into your life. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and say yes to that stirring that is out there. You cannot outgive the infinite. Try it. We'd appreciate it. Anyway, I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful team. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday, and to those that remember us with their auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world into Seaside to assist us on our regular financial obligations. It is a consistency that is very helpful in our world. And so I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing truly that the blessings of the divine unfolds its expression right here, right now, through each and every one of us. For we have become that conduit through which that infinite expresses, and I say yes to that divine motion and movement and the stirring of the soul, this expanding realm of possibilities that says this, even greater, even more. I become that place where spirit expands, and I live in an expanding good universe. And I say thank you for this realization. Thank you for the understanding that I live in a infinite reservoir that is truly inexhaustible, and that I and you and each becomes the conduit through which this abundance flows. Beginning to practice this in my life, I develop a greater sense of security, a greater sense of peace, that the good that comes into my life is relevant, is real, is directed. And I'm grateful to be able to have the concerns dissolve and to live with the ease and the grace of an abundant universe. And so I say thank you for my ability to be home, where all is provided, and I feel the comfort and the warmth and support. And so it is. Amen. And together let us say this affirmation of abundance. Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully I live as the giving expression of spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. the guys from Seaside. And so as I stand before this bountiful blessing, I can just feel the love that poured forth to bring it here into form. For truly I know it is a representation of the heart and the soul, and truly that each of us have become that medium through which that good is poured. From that infinite reservoir, I know this manifested, a growing, expanding abundance continues to enrich Seaside because it comes from the richness and the joy of our individual lives. It is handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into the wonderful stream of life, and knowing that those ripples bring blessings to every woman it comes in contact. I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this time to pause, to go home, and to find that comfort of that place where all is well. And so it is. Amen. All right. And this is Lori Gertz. She is your board treasurer, bringing a high level of abundant consciousness to that position. And fabulous. Charles Holt, oh my goodness, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. Carolyn Janes, always a blessing to have you step in and lead us. Grandma, Reverend Tammy, thank you. And the wonderful Beeson family. And there's Ariel, my goodness, the newest member. Love ya. And giving us sound day is Ed, giving us visual is Marv. Great job, guys. Know that there's CDs available right after the service, and giving us the live streaming for the world to watch. And I assure you, we get input from around the world. And that's Tim Griffin sitting behind that camera week after week after week. Flowers are gorgeous. They are from Nancy Mills. She was at the first service. She gave them on behalf of her beloved hubby. It is his birthday, Bob Mills. So we are grateful to that. And let's see, what else is going on? Sunday, we have Roz doing a God Box class after service. Saturday, Greg, you'll remember Seaside is doing a relationship workshop. You can talk to him about that afterwards back at the education table. And Friday night, you heard Dr. Howard, and he's bringing his crew. Saturday night. Oh, it's Saturday night. Good thing. Saturday night, you're bringing your cast of comedians to rock the house here. And so I remember when you did here last, it was wonderful and fabulous. So looking forward to that Saturday. And the proceeds go to the bookstore. They are getting a whole new system so to support that. But also I want to acknowledge an individual who helped start our bookstore here when we moved into this building in 2001. She has helped lead that bookstore and the buying and the gifts ever since then. And Kay, I just want to bring you up here so we can say we love you, we appreciate you. She is stepping away from that position.
Kay has been with us since the very beginning, since we moved in here in 2001. She has literally carried that bookstore, and her and Barbara in many ways. She's been buying all the gifts and all the fun things that are there and doing all the scheduling and getting all the volunteers. And she's ready for a well-deserved break. I know she'll be back. We'll have to say, no, you can't come in. No. For a while. So we just want to say we really thank you. We have a beautiful gift that is coming for you, and we wanted just to give you these flowers. So thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to give my thanks and my love to Barbara King and David Kennedy and all the volunteers. I mean, Barbara's been my best partner you could ever ask for in the world. And thank you, Barbara. I love you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. So last thing before I pray, because I keep getting questions, why do we have a rain bucket when it hasn't rained in weeks? That's the challenge with our roof. It is retaining the water up there somewhere, and it's still pouring out. And so I just assure you, your board is on it. We're coming back in September with a plan and idea. We're getting bids, something we have to take care of right away. But that's why we have a rain bucket in the middle of our sanctuary when we haven't seen rain for a couple weeks. We're on it. You'll hear about it when we got something figured out. But we are taking all sorts of bids and ideas. So with that, I want to pray because I know we have a picnic, right? So the sooner I stop talking, the sooner we can go out and play, right? Hey, yeah, we're ready. Okay, so I invite all of our religious science practitioners to stand right here, and I invite us all to feel this upliftment of this consciousness that helps create this sense of home that is here. Breathe in to this wonderful sense of well-being. For I hear so often how people found home when they come to Seaside. Seldom does a Sunday ever go by where there's not somebody crying because of a peace, of a comfort that they have found within just by sitting in this sanctuary. Irrespective of the words or the music, there is a soul-stirring moment. This is what we have created together, this space and time and consciousness. But go to that place where there's comfort and trust, where it feels safe, where you know the truth of being, where you're comfortable in your own skin. And know the great I am that you are. That I am, and I speak from this place of I amness, knowing the truth of this moment is that is God unfolding, that is the Spirit expressing. For truly the blessings, the Spirit moves in this moment, uplifting and healing, transforming. And so if anybody here today is experiencing anything less than their wholeness, is experiencing a difficulty, a separation from their true skin, their true essence, their true being, I know right now this is a time to reclaim, to retrieve, for that is the work of mastery, a soul retrieval. It's returning back to that initial sense of well-being and wholeness, for it's in this state of wholeness all otherness falls away, not because I am attempting to heal the body or heal the relationships, but because it is in this wonderful flow that love and that essence and that light of the divine uplifts, transforms, renews, revitalizes. And so it is in this moment that I return to that safe place, that I'm willing to find the courage within my life and say, I need to go now. I need to go rejuvenate and replenish. I can't tell you where, when, why, how, or how long, but I know. I hear my voice in the winds at night calling. And I trust that darkness. That dark night of the soul. For it is out of this question or this pain or this difficulty emerges that light and that greater expression of you. And in honoring this divine presence and this call and this urge, opening up to that which you've come here to do and to be, the Spirit moves, it purges out anything unlike itself. There's healing in the physical body. That is the natural outpicturing of being within that flow. There's abundance that continues to expand within the very life in which you live. The relationships become juicy and wonderful. It is like just divine. For truly living in that light and that flow, healing goes on. I know for Seaside that we continue to say yes to that call in the wind, to be that greater expression, that expanding expression of an awakened, loving community where the blessings of God continue to reside, where the roof over our head continues to be a safe place for us to come. Every prayer in our prayer request chest is answered. The practitioners speak the word of truth in their prayers today and all week long for the prayer requests. For Janice Hart, one of the loving members of our community who's in the process of making her transition, that she releases and surrenders with an ease and a grace and a blessing in her life and light. And I say thank you for a greater knowingness in all times. And so I let go of any of my need to do. I let go with a sense of gratitude for being able to return home and knowing all is well. And so with the gratitude and appreciation for the word spoken, I let go and I surrender. And I just let go to this light and this love and this Spirit here and now. And so it is.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and don't let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Seaside. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right, and our affirmation is, I am comfortable in my own skin. Together, I am comfortable in my own skin. Come on, touch some of your skin and say it like you mean it. I am comfortable in my own skin. One more time. I am comfortable in my own skin. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love, I'm living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe. Through joys and through fears, in this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living